What's up, guys? This is Robert with Derivative Advertising. Another one of my fun little projects. This is a pretty in-depth Zapier project with ActiveCampaign, and the end goal here will be multiple things. You'll have a spreadsheet, a data sheet in Google Sheets that'll track your outgoing broadcasts, a card in Trello with your content, and then a WordPress post. So like if you want to have a blog of all the emails you send out, just to have more content out there, and that's, strategy, the whole other conversation there. But so what you'll end up with is a row like this. Now the creative angle and offer promoted I didn't fill in, but you'd have to fill those in. But these values would all be filled in automatically. The revenue can be filled in. I'd have to do a little more data depending on how you track your revenue. But it's definitely a possibility. And then you would have a Trello post. So just like this, you'd have a Trello card with the subject and the text body. So you can track that, as well as I use a draft so that I can go, check it, edit it a little bit if I need to. But you would have a post if you wanted to have your blog kind of shared up here. So there's no share Zaps on this because it's kind of going to depend on how you set things up. So I'm just going to walk through what all it takes. First is going to be a webhook, a post hook from Zapier, just to create it. So you can get the docs on this in ActiveCampaign, but you've got the URL where it's got to go to, and then your fields are the name of this hook, where it's going to go, the URL, the events, and then the sources they're going to come from, and then the content type is application/JSON, and then your API token out of your account. So that's going to do that. All you have to do is test and review. Well, yeah, test continue, just to send that hook and start the process here. And then you need to actually send one so that hook can see it happen before you finish setting everything else up. Then I'm going to come over to G Suite so I can create the row, and new email in G Suite, create a filter based on that email. And what that is going to do is send it into a labeled inbox. So create a labeled inbox, a folder in your inbox, and then filter those emails in. That's another video. But that way they're going to a set location. Like this is just to me. I mean, you could name it whatever you want, but that's to me so that, it's my stuff, or it's from me, I should say. Find date will give you an email test of what comes out of that. So then this actually takes the date and time of the event of the received email and turns it into a date in the time zone. Format doesn't matter, but use consistent for both of these apps. So whatever format you use, just make sure it carries over. Time zone, I carry it over because if you trim this and leave the time zone off, you could have, midnight switch with UTC, and you could have a hang up there. So I just do it in the time zone of what I'm working from. And then create spreadsheet rows. So I have this spreadsheet. It's just a date, from name, subject line, creative angle, offer promoted, unique opens, unique link clicks, and revenue PPM. Those are all my headers there. So customized spreadsheet row is just pick your spreadsheet, and then the date is the date that I transformed, the from name, the subject line. These fields are all going to be open. You'd have to manually fill these in because they're going to vary per the email. The next piece of it is create a card in Trello. Create a card, customize the card, pick the board, pick the list, and then I don't know why my date is blank there, but body plain is what it should be. And you've got the name. I just use a subject line for the name. You could potentially, name dash date or something if you wanted to, depending on how you track what you want to track. Description is the body there. And then, this is, you have options, labels. You want it to go to the top or the bottom. Yeah, whatever you want to fill. If you want to fill any of these values in, you can. Checklist items, depending on what you're doing, you might have somebody else working from that content. And then continue that, load up. Okay. And then the last piece of it is create a post in WordPress. And So you got a post type. Again, I use the subject line as the title. You could put the date in there if you wanted to. That's kind of up to you. Content is the plain body again. I may actually look at removing that last unsubscribe just so that link's not in there. There's some formatting you can do with that. The excerpt, I just use the raw snippet from Gmail, just a quick one. It keeps pre-filling that for me. I don't want a password. The author, you pick who the author is going to be of these. The featured media, any of these, again, comments or no comments. Do you want it to be pingable? This is all how you run your blog if you want to have any tags on it. And then I put it into a draft mode so I can go in and edit it. And the date, if you wanted to put it in the future or even put it in the past, I guess, I just let it pick today's date when I run it. So that'll do that part of the puzzle. The other piece is auto-filling in column F and G. And so I have an ActiveCampaign catch. So what happens here is it catches the hook that we send there every time a new email goes out. And so if I come to send data or find data, it's going to show that I sent an email out, and then the list name it went to. And then I have a 24-hour delay. That way, it's you could do 7 days depending on what you want to do, but you have the option to set that delay period up. And then I do a get call, and what that does is it calls back to my account, and it says, hey, let's look up this campaign ID, and then you have to have your API token in the header, and it returns a bunch of gobbledygook about your email. Now, what that really, there's two critical pieces there, is the link clicks and the opens that I'm looking at, and the dates as well. So formatter, date and time, customize date time. Again, this is how I can do that search to find this row. And wrong one. Here we go. So campaign date, I pull that, I put it in the same format, same time zone, and so it just returns the date for me. Boom. Cool. I look up a spreadsheet row. I go to that same spreadsheet based on the campaign. I'm not sure what the different date values are. The API doesn't explain that, but as long as C date is the earliest in the campaign. So I'm using that one as the tracking reference. And then it's going to look that up. You want to make sure this is from false, bottom up is false, because you want it, if you had multiple, say I sent one out at 10 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon, for example, I want to make sure that it catches the first one, not the second one, so that the one that comes in a couple hours after this one will catch the next one, so that there is some ability to do multiples in a day and not be worried about that. Send the data, and it goes and it finds the row. All I need here is that ID. So come back down here and say customize spreadsheet row, and then pick the sheet. The row is going to be a custom value, and I'm going to come down and grab that value. And all I'm going to update is unique opens and unique link clicks. Now, what I'm doing here is unique opens over send amount, so I can get that percentage in there. And then unique link clicks, the same thing, unique link clicks over send amount. And then I actually have that column formatted, and it is equals, unique link over send amount, so that it can create that percentage. And then I have those columns formatted as a percentage. So format number percent, so that it's really returning a 0.3333, and then it just covers that in a percent. So that's that. If you are interested in any more help with this kind of stuff, setting up this kind of stuff, Zapier and automation and some of your marketing stuff, check out the Facebook group, Zapier and Marketing Automation for Small Businesses. And we talk on this kind of stuff all the time in there, and I post videos like this and whatnot. So that's that for this one. If you have any questions, feel free to come over to the group and ask, and or comment on this post if I posted it somewhere else. Anyway, hope y'all enjoy. We'll catch you later on. Bye now.